What's up, Grace Mosaic family? I hope this note finds you persevering in faith and hope and love. You've been on my mind, and you've definitely been in our prayers. The elders have been praying for each of you by name, trying to take into consideration the particular things that you have going on in your lives, and we're really looking forward to being with y'all again, hopefully before too long. I wanted to send out an update on what's been going on in the life of Grace Mosaic. You might feel like the ministry of Mosaic is at a standstill right now because we're in quarantine, but that's actually not the case. God's been doing some things. God is always at work, and He has been sending a lot of encouragement our way. The ministry of the church is going forward, even if it's going forward with the limitations that we're experiencing right now. But I wanted to send out a video update and invite some of the leaders and staff of Grace Mosaic to share with you some of the things that are going on.
Hi, Grace Mosaic family. I'm Christy St. Pierre. I'm a member of the diaconate, and I'm here today to give you an update on some of the financial matters of our church. First, I want to give an update on this current fiscal year, FY20. So our fiscal year ends at the end of June, and as of the end of April, we are ahead of budget in our tithes and offerings. And over the course of May, I've been getting weekly updates from our accountant throughout the month of May, and that we've continued to gain in how far ahead we are in budget in our tithes and offerings. And I am just so incredibly encouraged by your generosity and your giving in this time of so much uncertainty. Just to see the faithfulness of this congregation and the generosity of everyone in the congregation has just been encouraging for my faith, and just to see what God has done when I least expected it, has been so incredible. And I wanted to share that with all of you. We had originally budgeted for a deficit for this year of about $13,000. But it is possible now, with where we are in tithes and offerings, and saving on some expenses as we're not meeting together right now, that we could in the year breaking even or even possibly in the black. So I'm just so encouraged. I said it already, but I'll say it again. I'm so encouraged, and I just hope that you will join me in praising God for His provision for our congregation. I also wanted to just give you some general information about our process for developing the FY21 budget that will be coming out soon. The Stewardship Committee for the Grace Network, of which I'm a part, along with a deacon from both downtown and one from Radiant Hill, with our accountant and the Grace DC Treasurer, we recommended that all of the congregations budget for a 10 to 15% decrease in tithes and offerings, given the uncertainty of the financial situation going forward, and the ramifications from COVID-19, and then adjusting expenses accordingly. So that's what we've done for Mosaic for FY21. We've set tithes and offerings at 10% below what we budgeted for this current year. Some expenses, as long as we're not meeting, will not continue. And so we are able to reduce expenses to present a break-even budget for FY21. And the Mosaic staff, the session, and the diaconate will be working together on a month-by-month basis throughout the year to adjust as if tithes and offerings come in higher than projected, as they have this year, then we'll be able to increase funding for some of those items in our budget. And so we will just continue to pray in faith for God's provision, and make adjustments regularly throughout the year. And then lastly, I just wanted to give an update on the payroll protection program. So Grace as a network applied for and received funds for that program, and we have until June 30th to decide whether we will apply for forgiveness for the 8 weeks or for the 2.5 months of those funds that we'd be eligible to apply for loan forgiveness for, and it would be considered a grant. Or at that time, if we determine that the network is in a sound position and able to cover payroll expenses, we'd be able to repay the loan with no penalty. So just wanted to give you an update on where that stands as well. If you have further questions either about this year's finances, the budget, or the payroll protection program, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email diaconate@gracemosaic.org and I will get your email. If you want to see more numbers, total on expenses and income, I'm happy to share those. Just harder to share in the video update. So please don't hesitate to reach out with questions. Thank you for your faithfulness and your generosity at Grace Mosaic. And I praise God for our community.
And Mosaic family, this is Chris Moore, one of the elders. I want to update you on two items. The first is around shepherding. We've traditionally done that largely through our community groups, but given all that's going on, we felt it best to divide up our membership list among the elders so that each elder was really focused on a group of members to pray for them, to be in touch with them, to make sure that they knew what was going on. So hopefully you've been in contact with one of the elders from that standpoint, and the deacons as well are trying to divide up the membership and make sure that they're aware of any needs that are going on. That being said, please always send us an email at elder@mosaic.org if there's anything that we can be praying for or be engaged with you about. The second thing is that we've had a candidate process going on. So way back we did nominations, and those nominees went through a very arduous training process over the past year. We are now down to a slate of candidates that will be presented for a vote at the June membership meeting. So we have two candidates for the diaconate, Melissa Wong and David Bowman, two candidates for our new role of shepherdess, Rylan Copeland and Katie Willett, and two candidates for elder, Chris Saunders and Evan Willett. So be in prayer for them and look forward to the vote. We're very excited for the way that the Lord has blessed and gifted these brothers and sisters, and excited to welcome them into the leadership. So now I'm going to hand it over to Evan for an update on CGs.
Hey, Evan Willett here, and I wanted to talk to you all for a minute about community groups. So community groups have always been part of the vision of fellowship and unity that Grace Mosaic is really built around. And that is no less true today. In fact, it's even more true today during this pandemic season than it has been in the past. I know that's been true for our family. We've continued to meet together on Wednesday nights with our community group. We've prayed with and for each other. We have discussed the sermon and seen other sides to the sermon and to the scripture that you really only get in conversation with other people. We played games together. We played some online Pictionary, which was a lot of fun. Somebody's always making dinner during community groups, so we've eaten together, even if we weren't in person. And it's been one of the rhythms that has really marked the week for us, and has been one of those life-giving rhythms that are so hard to come by during this uncertain time. So if you're a member of a community group, I pray that it would remain a life-giving rhythm for you and for your family. And if you're not a member of a community group, now is the perfect time to join one. You don't need to wait until all this is over. Who knows when that will be? Now is the perfect time. So just reach out to Ashley, and we'll get you connected with a community group that fits your schedule and is just right for you, and that gives you one of those life-giving rhythms. Now I think we're going to go over to Danielle to talk for a little bit about our children's ministry.
Hey Grace Mosaic family, I pray you are doing well and that this unique time has just allowed you to create some new rhythms and routines with your families and communities. I know in so many ways we have been challenged beyond our greatest challenge to help our kids survive social distancing, distance learning, and all the emotions and the stress and the uncertainties that are coming with these changes. I know we've tried to figure out Google Meets and Zoom and Microsoft Team and Seesaw and Flipgrid and 1,000 other learning apps in a really quick time, and our kids are probably even better at it than we are. And right now, really, many of us are just burnt out from that technology. So I thank you for watching another video to find out an update on life from those of us who aren't able to see each other day to day. And I am really excited for summer. I am praying for each of you as you have a chance to just relax from the expectations of turning in school assignments, of getting your child logged in one more time. And I will just be praying for you as you get into this time of creating some really fun summer memories with your kids. And now I am fully aware that children's ministry in the last 10 weeks has just looked a little different. It's been limited and simple. No weekly emails from me about volunteer schedules or swapping with somebody else. No early Sunday morning texts asking you to be the alternate teacher. No real Sunday school feel. And I am just grateful for your patience and your flexibility as we have tried to just work out some things that make it feel the same for our kids. And so I've tried really hard in the last couple weeks to really continue to provide some of the things that your kids are used to seeing on Sunday morning. So we have been continuing to email out the 3 levels of our activity sheets for Sunday morning Sunday school that you can do as a family before church service, since we have a little bit more time to either sleep in or do Sunday school before service starts. I have that split up for preschool level, for elementary split between lower elementary, which is like K and first, and then upper elementary, which is our 2nd through 5th grade. So there's always 3 worksheets that you can print out for your child and work through. That week's lesson allows us to continue with our curriculum and continue forward into our new school year in the fall. Also, the children's ministry coordinators have been working across the network to create our weekly children's sermon notes. So there's also an opportunity for you to print out sermon notes where your children can follow along with our online worship. And one of the big things that has continued to go on during this time is that our child safeguarding implementation team has been in the process, before all this started, to roll out our most updated policy this spring. And though the rollout is a little delayed, the team is working diligently to create new safety policy for our most vulnerable members. So when we do return together, new signs will be posted, new policies will be put into place to keep our children and our most vulnerable members safe, along with the rest of the congregation. Now, as we move forward, one of my biggest goals is to just get creative with children activities if we continue to stay isolated beyond the summer as well. I do want to be mindful of our families who need a break from technology but are so eager to be in community again. So as we move forward, I am open to your ideas and your thoughts about activities and events that could be beneficial to your household and especially your children. So another great way that we can keep our Mosaic kids involved in church community is participating as a family in our daily prayer project. So I'm going to pass the mic on, or the screen on, to Pastor Joel so he can share more about this amazing ministry and all it has to offer.
Thanks for that, Danielle. Hey Mosaic, it's Pastor Joel here. I'm so glad to greet you on this digital staff and leadership update video. I wish I could be with you in person. As pastor of worship and spiritual formation, you know that a huge part of my job is that center splash of our community, Sunday gathered worship in the sanctuary. And right now, though we have our great digital gatherings, it is not the same, and I miss your songs and prayers responsively. I miss seeing you participate with us in the worship of God, and I long for that day again. We really feel like worship is the center splash, and that it ripples out into the practices that we do as a community, and then the practices that we do in our personal and household lives. And this time we're having to really lean into our communal practices of formation. And I want to talk to you about a couple of those. And one of them you'll know well if you've been around the church for a little bit, which is the Daily Prayer Project. The new edition comes out this Sunday for Pentecost Sunday. And the Daily Prayer Project started 2 years ago, if you remember, with these really annoying emails that came into your inbox morning and evening. I know most of you don't miss those. And the project has really blossomed because of you and your participation in it. And I've heard from so many of you, and I've felt so encouraged myself to watch those weekly morning prayer videos that have come from our community. It's been so encouraging to receive your leadership in prayer, and also to see the diversity of gifts in our body, in our diverse body here at Mosaic. And so the new edition's coming out. We'll keep doing that. We'll look for more ways to engage with that. And I also just wanted to let you know that about 5 months ago, we started offering the DPP to other churches who were looking for rhythms of prayer that could unite their communities. And now I'm really happy to say that we have over 25 congregations all across the country who are using it. So as you engage with the DPP every day, you're using that with 4,000 to 6,000 other people right now at this point. So it's such a blessing for that to come out of our community and to be blessing churches nationwide. And then I also wanted to point you to this. It's called a liturgical audit of your life. We introduced this a few months ago. Basically, an audit in the financial world is seeing how the money comes in and how it's being spent. Well, a liturgical audit is seeing the time of our lives that we are given and how we are spending our time, how we're living our life, which is a core question of discipleship. And if you're like me right now, time is, your relationship to time might be a little bit skewed, amorphous. But I think this is as good a time as any to zoom out from our life, to see how we're spending our life, where God is leading us towards further formation into the way of Jesus, being formed into the image of Christ by the Spirit. So this is a tool to help you with that, and I really encourage you to access this resource. This resource and the DPP, and maybe a few other things like some Gmo original music are going to be available on the new website in a members-only section that's password protected just for our community. So those resources will be there, and Ashley will tell you about that. And I'm going to take the mic right now, pass the mic to Ashley.
Thanks, Joel. What's up, Grace Mosaic fam? I miss you guys dearly, and I hope you're staying well. I'm so excited to talk about some web news. So we've officially launched our new website at the same domain, gracemosaic.org. We've worked hard as a staff to have this site capture the feel and essence of our community, and we really hope that we've done just that. So we're also excited to announce some new and exciting features like our sermons page that now is categorized by folders like series and speaker to make it easier for searching and sharing. We also have a new members page that we'll use to post resources like the current prayer book, the liturgical audit, and eventually other cool stuff unique to us, like original music by Russ and Joel, and who knows what else, man. The sky's the limit. So go on there and do a little searching around. We really hope you like it, and we're excited to see how this seemingly small detail helps in the reach and influence of our church, not only here in DC, but also abroad. So with that, I'm going to shoot it back to Russ to close us out.
I hope that this update has been encouraging to all of you. I am personally encouraged by the work that our staff is doing. I think they're doing excellent work under very difficult circumstances because I'm sure that all of you by now have come to wrestle with the difficulty that this whole quarantine has brought to you and your jobs. It's actually no different for us. Our work of ministry is made all the more difficult because we don't get to be with you. And we lament that, but it makes me proud of the work that our staff is doing to continue to work out this ministry, to help us to work out the life of our community in this place. I'm grateful for the ways that all of you have participated in sustaining the life of this church. And I believe that even with this quarantine still in effect, we have lots of good work to do. I don't know when we're going to get to be back together for worship. It's something that we're discussing at the network level. And what we're doing is we're pulling together a team of people from all three congregations so that we can make it a good decision that's an informed decision. But that helps us to make the wisest course of action as we go forward with respect to returning to public worship. So we don't know, but we have a team assembled, and we will keep you updated on what those developments may be. In the meantime, we're going to keep pressing on. We're going to keep aspiring to extending care to our community, to trying to foster our connectedness. We're going to continue to aspire to work out neighbor love within the constraints and limitations of a quarantine. And also, we're going to continue to aim at faithfulness as it relates to our cross-cultural vision. If you've been watching the news, if you've been paying attention to what's going on socially right now, I hope that you see that it's as important as it's ever been for the church to move forward in cross-cultural love, to fight to be cross-cultural as a community. with the violence that's been going on against black men particularly, and all of the trouble and divisiveness that brings, the way that enmity is just prone to set into communities, it's all the more important that we, Grace Mosaic, commit to one another in love and not shy away from the hard conversations and not lean away from the difficult things that need to be said and the tears that need to be cried and the laments that need to be lifted, but that we press into it, because therein lies maturity and growth and grace and beauty as we bear witness to what the resurrection of Jesus can produce in a community. So with all that said, I love you guys. I continue to miss you. I'll be checking in. We'll be checking in again soon with another update. But until then, may the grace and peace of the Lord rest upon you.